I welcome you all to today's session at KVS RO Jabalpur, Class 12 Commerce, Business Studies, Principles of Management, Part 3. Dear students, this is the third and final video on second unit, that is Principles of Management. I recommend that you should go and watch the previously uploaded videos so that you can get a better understanding regarding the second unit, Principles of Management. So in this unit, today we are going to start with the scientific management propounded by F.W. Taylor, Frederick Winslow Taylor. So let us begin. This is the concept map we have already discussed. First unit was nature and significance of management. Then we are right now continuing with principles of management. Again, a sweet reminder to you all: plan and manage your time. Make notes of the chapter you are studying with the help of videos. Attempt exercise questions given in the NCERT books. Dear students, new NCERT books for the session 2020-21 are available on the NCERT website, and they are absolutely free and available for download. After completing the practice of the chapter, you should go to attempt the case studies which has been asked in previous year board exams. Watch these videos repeatedly. Whenever you are having extra time, you should watch these videos repeatedly. Okay, so today we are going to start with the scientific management principles propounded by F.W. Taylor. And this was the basic concept. In class 12th business studies, we are supposed to read only the classical management theory, which includes the 14 principles propounded by Henry Fayol, who is known as father of general management, general and administrative management. And today we are going to begin with the scientific principles propounded by Frederick Winslow Taylor, who is known as father of scientific management. Before I proceed to the unit, dear student, please keep in mind Henry Fayol's 14 principles were based on observation. He simply observed the things, and when he found the repeated outcome, repeatedly the outcomes are same, he propounded the principles. On the contrary, F.W. Taylor, he did not rely on the trial and error method based on observation, rather he did some experimentations. Therefore, his theory of management is called as scientific principles. Okay, so today we are going to begin with the scientific management theory. F.W. Taylor, his lifespan was from 1856 to 1915. He is known as father of scientific management movement. Lifetime was March 20, 1856 to March 21, 1915. He was an American mechanical engineer. His education was degree in mechanical engineering from Stevens Institute of Technology in 1883. He formulated 4 principles of scientific management. We will discuss them later one by one. Before we go to the principles, let us discuss the definition of scientific management given by Frederick Winslow Taylor. Taylor was a mechanical engineer. He was a scientist manager. So he was not relying on the observation or trial and error approach. His main focus was on knowing the things exactly as they are. Means he was of the view that the thing should be very clear without any shadow of suspicion. So his definition of the management is: scientific management is the art of knowing exactly what you want men to do, and then seeing that they are doing it in the best and cheapest way. Dear students, he was saying he usually used to say that either you are number one or you are no one. नंबर वन में से आप एक डॉट हटा दीजिए, either you are number one or you are no one. किसी भी काम को करने का एक ही तरीका होता है, and that is the best way. So Taylor was not in a mood to make any compromise with the outcome, with the training methods, with the tools, with the standards, anything. He was not ready to make any kind of compromise. So let us read the definition once again. Scientific management is the art of knowing exactly. His focus was on knowing exactly. For this purpose, he conducted many studies known as work study. We will discuss in the techniques of scientific management later on in this video only. So scientific management is the art of knowing exactly what you want men to do, and then seeing that they are doing it in the best way and cheapest way. If you remember, efficiency says performing the task with the least cost. So Taylor was a great advocate of effectiveness as well as efficiency together. Move forward. Frederick Winslow Taylor, he propounded 4 principles. First was science, not rule of thumb. This principle says that there can be only a perfect way of doing the things, and that perfect way should not be propounded, invented merely by trial and error approach. Rather, there should be a scientific way of developing that method. It should be based on analysis, it should be based on knowledge, it should be based on the studies. Okay. Taylor maintained that the rule of thumb should be replaced with scientific knowledge. I will discuss all these principles one by one again. Harmony, not discord. He used to say that there should be harmony in the organization, a good environment, good relation between workers and managers, and there should not be discord. Discord का मतलब होता है dispute, झगड़ा. So he used to say there should be harmony and not the discord. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में हार्मनी होनी चाहिए, अच्छा माहौल होना चाहिए, गुड रिलेशन होना चाहिए, ना कि झगड़े, ना कि डिस्प्यूट्स. कोऑपरेशन, नॉट इंडिविजुअलिज्म. नॉट आई, रादर वी. मैं नहीं, हम. देयर वॉज अ ग्रेट फोकस ऑन ग्रुप अचीवमेंट्स. It requires a complete mental revolution on the part of both workers and management. Mental revolution involves a change in the attitude of workers and management towards one another from within, without any external pressure. Taylor wanted that there should be a mental revolution. Mental revolution means a change of outlook from within, without any external pressure. वर्कर्स को ये समझना पड़ेगा कि मैनेजर्स के बिना, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के बिना हमें वर्क प्लेस नहीं मिलेगा. हु विल गिव अस सैलरी इफ दे आर नॉट क्रिएटिंग द एवेन्यूज टू वर्क वेयर द वर्कर्स विल वर्क एंड अर्न देयर लाइवलीहुड. एट द सेम टाइम द मैनेजर्स, द ओनर्स, द एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, they will have to understand that without workers they cannot run their industries. So they both are complementary to each other and they cannot survive in isolation from the other party, other side. Last is development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. As it is already discussed in the definition that Taylor advocated the best way. Best means if a worker can produce 100 units in a day, why today he has performed only 90 units? There must be some problem on our behalf, because workers have already proved, the worker has already proved that one day he produced 100 units and today he is producing only 90 units. There may be some problem on our behalf. We have not provided him the correct tool. We have not provided him the correct machine, correct working environment, and we have not provided him the correct motivation level. So the problem is with the management, is not with the worker. He is able to perform 100 units in a day and he is not doing today. Means there is some problem on our behalf. Okay, so Taylor wanted, in order to maximize the production, all possible efforts are to be made to increase the efficiency of the workers. So please remind once again, there are 4 principles propounded by F.W. Taylor. Science, not rule of thumb, means no trial and error approach. Harmony, not discord. Cooperation, not individualism. And development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. Let us discuss these principles one by one. Science, not rule of thumb. The English phrase rule of thumb refers to the principle with broad application that is not intended to be strictly accurate or reliable for every situation. It refers to an easily learned and easily applied procedure or standard based on practical application rather than a theory. करके देखेंगे, ये हो गया तो ठीक, ये नहीं हुआ तो सेकंड मेथड अप्लाई करेंगे, सेकंड मेथड भी फेल हो जाएगा तो थर्ड मेथड अप्लाई करेंगे. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज ट्रायल एंड एरर अप्रोच. दिस इज नॉट द साइंटिफिक अप्रोच. सो सी इन दिस कार्टून, द पर्सन इज ट्राइंग टू फिट द शेप्स, सम आइटम्स, सम फिजिकल आइटम्स इन द स्ट्रक्चर, and he is doing it with the trial and error approach. He is trying it and trying to put the shapes in the block. Okay, so after doing 2 errors, he came to know, okay, it will fit in this block. So this is called trial and error approach. But Taylor advocated a scientific, a systematic approach. He said, first of all, there should be imagination. After imagination, we should explore. After explore, we should learn. After learning, we should think. And then we should say there is a principle we should know. So a systematic approach rather than trial and error approach he advocated. So this is called science, not rule of thumb. Second is harmony, not discord. The main objective of a worker is to earn more and the management is to maximize the production. Instead of discord for each other's objectives, workers can earn more by producing more, which will help in maximizing the production also. In my view, in my opinion, this principle of F.W. Taylor actually supports, it complements the esprit de corps principle propounded by Henry Fayol. It also says that there should be no class conflict. Manager and worker should work in coordination with each other rather than the discords, rather than the disputes. So this is the required approach you are seeing on the screen, and this approach, this attitude, this false ego, this false attitude should be avoided. Third is cooperation, not individualism. Actually, this third principle is the extension of second principle of F.W. Taylor. In second principle, he is saying there should be harmony, not the discord. झगड़ा नहीं होना चाहिए. And this is the extension. What this principle say? There should be cooperation, not individualism. सचिन की सेंचुरी इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, टीम का स्कोर इंपॉर्टेंट है. मेरी सैलरी इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, मेरी फर्म का आउटपुट इंपॉर्टेंट है. बिकॉज इफ द फर्म इज अर्निंग मोर, automatically, naturally, my earnings will be improved. So this principle says that extension of principle of harmony, not discord. It supports Fayol's principle of subordination of individual interest to common interest. If you remember, there was a principle propounded by Henry Fayol also, and that was subordination of individual interest to common interests. अपने इंटरेस्ट को सेक्रीफाइस करके, पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट को सेक्रीफाइस करके भी अगर हमें ग्रुप के इंटरेस्ट फॉलो करने पड़े, उनको अचीव करना पड़े, वी शुड फॉलो दिस मेथड. In this, actually this picture has been taken from a very famous cartoon movie which I used to see in my childhood, Swim Me. So there were many fish, small fish, and a big fish was attacking them. They all became together and actually they attacked that big fish combinedly and they could achieve their aim of safety. And last is development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. When Honorable Laluji was the minister, railway minister, he visited IIM and a student asked, "Sir, how could you convert this loss running railways into a profit running organization?" So he simply replied कि देखिए मैं तो गांव वाला हूँ, ग्वाला हूँ, एंड मैं इतना जानता हूँ कि अगर मैं अपनी गाय और भैंस का पूरा दूध नहीं निकालूंगा वो बीमार पड़ जाएंगी. So this was a very simple explanation of this principle, development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. Dear students, we must try to explore the resources of organization in the best possible manner, in the appropriate manner. Then only our organization will be achieving efficiency as well as effectiveness. Okay. I know that in private organizations, the industries, they are running 3 shifts. Mean their machines are working 24 hours a day. They are having 3 shifts of 8 hours per shift. So their machines are running 24 hours with small rests, and they are using their human resource in rotation. Means the human resources are working in a shift of 8 hours per day. Okay. Do what is needed, then do what is possible, and suddenly you will find that you are doing impossible, because impossible itself says I am possible. So this principle focuses on making the person at the top of his efficiency. Now, how these are the principles propounded by Henry Fayol, F.W. Taylor, and now let us see what are the techniques propounded by F.W. Taylor, using which we can achieve the scientific management in our organization. You will find it very interesting. Very first thing is functional foremanship. Now I would like to recall you all that even Henry Fayol in its first principle says division of work. There should be division of work on the basis of specialization. In the same way, in the same manner, F.W. Taylor also advocates that there should be division of work on the basis of specialization. So that division of work is called functional foremanship. He says that the lower level managers should be divided in 2 groups. One group will be planning group, other group will be production or execution group. The planning group will not interfere in the work of production group, and production group will not interfere in planning group. So this is also called, commonly it is known as 8 boss scheme, क्योंकि यहाँ पे total 8 bosses थे. So this functional foremanship is also called as 8 boss scheme. Okay, so what were the total 8 bosses? There were 4 planning in charges, instruction card clerk, route clerk, time and cost clerk, and disciplinarian. In production in charges, there were gang boss, there were repair boss, there are inspectors, and there are speed boss. So let us see what are their functions. In planning department, there are route clerks. Dear students, their main functions I have highlighted in bold letters in green font. Route clerk was supposed to fix up the sequence of steps of performing the mechanical or manual job. इनका काम ये था कि ऑपरेशनल चार्ट बनाना, एक फ्लो चार्ट बनाना कि कौन सी चीजें किस सीक्वेंस में की जाएंगी, एक उनका ऑर्डर तैयार करना. दिस वाज द वर्क ऑफ रूट क्लर्क. इन प्लानिंग डिपार्टमेंट द अनदर क्लर्क इज इंस्ट्रक्शन कार्ड क्लर्क. His main work is to issue the general instructions which are necessary to carry out a particular job in a specific manner, like how this task will be performed. Where route clerk is deciding the sequence, the instruction card clerk is telling how, the method, how the work will be performed. Time and cost clerk. This foreman is responsible to fix up the time for starting and completing the job. He also prepares the cost sheet for every job, because it is very important to reduce the cost also for achieving the maximum level of efficiency. In planning department, the last one was disciplinarian, and the main task of this foreman is to see the performance of job in orderly and systematic way, that everyone is following the rules or instructions issued to them. So maintain the discipline is the main task of disciplinarian. In production department there were 4 bosses. First is gang boss. His duty is to arrange all the machines, tools and other resources required for performance of the job, so that there is no delay. Remember, this is the production department and their main task is to execute. Planning department's main task is to plan the things, and production department has to execute the plans made by planning department. Second is speed boss. He assures the timely completion of the tasks. Repair bosses, their main task is to keep all the machines and tools in proper working condition. Whenever there is a repair required, he will go and attend the complaint. The last person in the production department is inspector, and his main task is quality control. He will see the quality checks. He will have a standard sheet and he will check all the things, all the production, all the final production on that checklist. That the main production, the main output, the thing which has been produced are meeting all the standards as per the planning department or not. So this was the functional foremanship or 8 boss scheme propounded by F.W. Taylor. There were 2 departments, planning and production department, each department having 4 bosses in each department, and they were not supposed to interfere in each other's work. Next is functional foremanship at a glance. Let us see. Taylor advocated the functional foremanship for achieving the ultimate specification. The technique was developed to improve the quality of work, as single supervisor may not be expert in all the aspects of the work. Therefore, workers are to be supervised by a specialist foreman. The scheme of functional foremanship is an extension of principle of specialization at the supervisory level, or we can say division of work. Taylor advocated appointment of 8 foremen, 4 at planning level and other 4 at implementation level. I hope by the end of this slide you are very much sure that what functional foremanship is. So functional foremanship is first and very important technique of scientific management. Let us move forward. In the scientific techniques, the other one was very important, that is called as work study. Dear students, the F.W. Taylor, he was of the view that there should not be any trial and error approach. Everything should be known exactly. So on the word exactly, he was very focused, very emphasizing. So to know the things exactly, he conducted many studies. He was working at Bethlehem Steel Company and he conducted many studies at that unit. So very first was method study. I have highlighted these keywords which will help you to attempt the case studies in your board exam if you remember these keywords. So method study, it is saying there should be a standard method to perform any task. There should not be trial and error approach कि करके देखेंगे उसी समय random approach हम follow करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. There should be a standard way to perform any task. So Taylor wanted that way should be based on our studies. It should not be a random method. After careful study and analysis of job, methods for every job are standardized. These methods are to be applied to eliminate the defects of hit or miss method of traditional management, that is called as replacement of old thumb rule. It can be simplified the operations by simplifying the use of tools and equipments, eliminating unnecessary actions and movements, integration of incidental activities, reducing the distance between place of storing and consuming the raw material, and improving the storing and inspection facilities. You have observed in your life also that whenever you are approaching a place, you come to know that to approach this place, कहीं पे जाने के लिए, there may be one way, there may be other way, there may be one another way. In the due course of time, you come to know that this is the best way, best method, best road I should follow to reach at a particular place. So now you are aware that I will go to my school using this way only, this road only every day. So you have come to a best method to perform any task. Okay. So Taylor said that in work study, the very first study was method study, and the purpose of this study was elimination of defects of hit or miss method, trial and error method, and to develop a standard way to perform any task. So all the workers working in the organization are supposed to perform that task in that particular method only. Okay. Second is time study. Dear students, whenever there is time study in your exam, there will be a point called as stopwatch. Time study. Remember two things about time study. The purpose of time study. I'm saying it very slowly, so please keep it in your mind. The purpose of time study is to determine the time taken by average worker to perform a task. किसी काम को करने में एक एवरेज वर्कर को कितना समय लगता है, ये डिफाइन करना टाइम स्टडी का पर्पस है. ओके. तो वो टाइम लिमिट हम हर वर्कर के लिए डिटरमाइन कर देंगे. जो उसको फॉलो करता है, ही विल बी कॉल्ड एज एवरेज वर्कर. हु कैन परफॉर्म इवन अर्लियर विल बी कॉल्ड एज एफिशिएंट वर्कर. और जो उतने स्टैंडर्ड टाइम में उसको परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाता है, ही विल बी कॉल्ड एज एन इनएफिशिएंट वर्कर, एंड ही विल रिक्वायर सम काइंड ऑफ ट्रेनिंग और सम काइंड ऑफ इंप्रूवमेंट. So time study is performed with the help of a stopwatch. The purpose of time study is to know the standard time taken by an average worker. Third study conducted by F.W. Taylor was motion study. The purpose of motion study is to eliminate useless motions. Remember, the purpose of motion study is to eliminate unnecessary motions. When he was working in the Bethlehem Steel Company, he was observing that people are loading and unloading coal from one place to another. And at that time, F.W. Taylor observed that people are performing many unnecessary motions which are not only consuming time but also causing the cost to the organization. He tried to define that there can be 17 standard motions which should be performed by the worker only. Although Taylor was also criticized on this point because he was assuming that the workers are not workers, they are like machines. So he was criticized also at that time. But we are studying the motion study. The purpose of motion study is to eliminate the unnecessary or useless motions performed by the workers. If you have visited any kind of service center at Honda, Hero Honda, Bajaj or any car showroom, you must have visited the workshop where services are done. If you have seen, these are called as bays, B-A-Y. So these services bay are having all the equipments placed at one place. So the worker need not to go here and there. He knows that everything will be available at a hand's reach. It will not only remove the unnecessary motions but will also save time and cost for the organization. The last study in work study was fatigue study, and fatigue study was conducted to know when the worker is exhausted. ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है कि वर्कर कब अपने सैचुरेशन पॉइंट पे पहुंच चुका है, क्योंकि उसके बाद भी अगर हम उससे उम्मीद करेंगे कि वो काम करे, then his output will go in negative. So at that time we need to give him a rest, a break, a interval. When Taylor applied this thing, all the industrialists were against him. So he conducted a small study on a small group of workers, and the output was improved from 1 to 1.67. Then all the industrialists came to know that there is a need of rest, because that rest is not a wastage of time and resources, rather it recharges the worker for producing even more. So fatigue study, fatigue means थकान. ये जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कब हमारा वर्कर एग्जॉस्टेड है, उससे हम उसको रेस्ट इंटरवल इंट्रोड्यूस करके उसको रिचार्ज कर सकते हैं, एंड ही कैन इवन गिव द बेटर आउटपुट. सो दिस वाज द वर्क स्टडी. वर्क स्टडी इंक्लूड्स 4 थिंग्स. नंबर 1 मेथड स्टडी, नंबर 2 मोशन स्टडी, नंबर 3 टाइम स्टडी, एंड नंबर 4 फटीग स्टडी. This all is called as work study. So now till now we have discussed two techniques of scientific management. First is functional foremanship and second is work study. Coming to the third technique of scientific management, it is standardization and simplification. Dear students, have you ever thought that you can take your bike to any service center and get a part repair or replaced? अगर आपकी गाड़ी का कोई पुर्जा या पार्ट खराब हो जाता है तो आप उसको देश के किसी भी शोरूम में ले जा करके आप उसे रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं. सो रिप्लेसेबिलिटी इज ड्यू टू स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन. सो व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन? स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन मीन्स uniformity of standards. Means all the things are having common standard, common dimension, common quality. Okay, so standardization is very much required. Actually, Taylor advocated standardization up to a greater level. He said that everything should be standardized. The working atmosphere, training methods, selection of workers, tools and equipments, quality controls, everything should be standardized. He said that there can be only one best way for anything, and that best way should be applied everywhere. Let it be tools or equipments, let it be training methods, let it be selection of workers, or let it be the organizational atmosphere or deciding the goals. So best way should be approached. Standardization says that physical attitude of product should be such that it meets the requirement and needs of customers. He also said that tools and equipments are all in working condition and they are standardized to achieve the standard output from the workers. Standardization also means achieving economy of production. It seems to assure that line of product is structured to predetermined type, form, design, size, weight, quality, etc. There is manufacture of identical part को focus कर लीजिएगा. All the things should be of same standard. Identical parts and components. Qualities and standards have to be maintained. Standards of performance are established for workers at all levels. You can see some examples of standardization at McDonald's. I have done some research and you will come to know that this billing machine, which is developed by Panasonic for all the McDonald's all over the world, they are using the common billing machine at all the outlets of McDonald's. So there is standardization even at the billing machine. Second example, you will see that all the food menu and price are standardized. They are common all over the world. Almost same menus offer all over the world with little variations. Even you can see that crew's uniform or interior decoration or external decoration, exterior decoration, they are almost uniform at all over the world. So McDonald's follows the standardization up to a great level. In continuation of the standardization and simplification, simplification is also very much emphasized by F.W. Taylor. Let me tell you an example of simplification. At McDonald's, all workers working in the kitchen and all people, all crew members have to maintain the hygiene at a great level. They are supposed to wash their hands for 2 minutes. So this is standardization, that all workers have to wash their hands, rinse their hands for at least 2 minutes. But all workers, how can they watch see the watch for 2 minutes and washing their hands? It's a very, very boring job, boring task. And it is very much required also for the hygiene of the customers. So what they have invented, they have placed a thing that sing happy birthday to you song twice while applying the soap on your hands and rinsing your hands. It becomes very simple. See, the thinking part is of managers. The workers are supposed to perform the task, and if we expect the workers can apply their brain also, it will become very difficult. So we have to maintain the high level of standardization, but we have to keep the things simple at workers level when they have to apply. So we have to tell them the things, the standardized things in a very, very simple way. For example, the workers will sing, apply the soap in their hands, and they'll say, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to happy birthday to you. They'll do it for 2 minutes singing happy birthday twice. So automatically, in a very simple way, they are following standardization also, and they are using the simplification also. So I found it very interesting. Okay, next very important technique is differential piecewise system. See, the Taylor said in its 4th principle that every worker should be developed to his or her greatest efficiency. How to ensure that? If a worker can produce 100 units and today he is producing only 90 units because he is having lack of motivation, why to complete the target of 100 units? What will be the achievement? So there is a lack of motivation for producing 100 or for giving 100% outcome in the minds of workers. So Taylor found out invented a very innovative method that is called as differential piecewise system. According to this method, all workers are not treated same. They will not be paid in the same manner. एक वर्कर है जो मेरे यहाँ हम लोगों ने बना रखा है कि डेली आपको 10 यूनिट्स बनाने हैं. So a worker is making 9 units. He will get the salary accordingly. He will get the wages accordingly. The person who is working 10 units, making 10 units, will get wages accordingly. And an efficient worker who is producing 11 units, even more than the set target, he will also get the wages at the same rate. So there is a lack of motivation. So wage system plus incentive becomes differential piecewise system. Dear students, always remember, when the question related to differential piecewise system comes in your exam, you have to give the numerical example. It is very necessary, must. So let us see an example. For example, in our organization, there is a standard policy that a worker who is producing 10 units will be called as average worker. If a worker is producing 10 units in a day, will be counted as average worker, and he will be paid at the rate 100 units, 100 rupees per unit. So in that way, his daily wages will be rupees 1000. But now we apply the differential piecewise system. I mean, there should not be a uniform piecewise system for all the workers. There should be a segregation between efficient, non-efficient and average worker. So below average worker, for example, he is producing only 9 units. He will not be paid at a standard rate rupees 100 per unit. Rather, he will be paid at a lesser rate. So he will be motivated to complete at least daily standards, that is 10 units. अगर हम उसको उसके 9 यूनिट्स का जो पेमेंट करेंगे वो 90 रुपये से करेंगे तो उसके वेजेस काफ़ी रिड्यूस हैं, तो वो ये कोशिश करेगा कि 1 यूनिट और बना करके कम से कम मैं आज का डेली स्टैंडर्ड फुलफिल कर लूँ, सो दैट आई कैन अर्न रुपीज़ 1000 इन माई स्टैंडर्ड वेजेस. At the same time, to motivate the worker up to their greatest efficiency, next level, we also keep a higher rate for extra efficient workers. If a worker is producing 11 units within the same infrastructure, then he should be paid at a higher rate. There should be some kind of motivation for such a worker. So if a worker is producing 11 units, his all units will be paid at a higher rate. And he will get the highest wages, that is rupees 1210 rupees per day. This differential piecewise system was focusing on development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency. In this way, we come to an end of techniques of scientific management. All the scientific techniques were not applicable without the complete change in the mental outlook of the workers. So Taylor wanted that all the workers should have a clear-cut view that without manager, workers cannot survive, without workers, managers cannot survive. I hope you found it interesting and the concept is clear to you. Dear students, keep watching the video again and again and keep attempting the exercises also. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay inside. Thank you.